Hi, and welcome to this new episode with Gaby Kowalski. Today we are also live in the Quantum Evolution group. So just a little bit of background. I'll put my handpan down. I met you, Gaby, at I met you at Freedom Fest, so a great festival, and I was really blown away by the activations you were doing there and even the intellectual content. So yeah, I'll just, can you speak? Because I feel like I'm not hearing you.
Okay. Oh, I was being polite and waiting for you to finish,
Perfect.
Hey, everybody, it's an honor to be here.
To have you today. And I'll tell you why, because I find that you have amazing intellectual content, and I will go through that with the interview. Amazing meditation, activation to tap into pure consciousness, going back to different timeline. And also what I love about you is how light you are and playful and fun. And yeah, it's just so good. So,
all these compliments, keep going. I like compliments. You're welcome to keep talking.
And you're able to receive. This is so important.
Thank you so much. It's an absolute honor to be here to serve at the highest. Hello, everybody tuning in with us live and, of course, watching the replay. I am going to be sharing with you some beautiful activations, upgrades into your field to shift you and have you unlock even more of your true essence, your highest abundance frequencies, greatest alignment, to then of course shift into realities that are even more fun, even more playful, even more joyous, beyond your wildest dreams. And just an honor. So here to serve. And yeah, let's start. Let's do it.
Boom! Let's do it. Okay, there's something I really like to do at the beginning of the interviews. It's to understand a little bit where you come from. So it gives a bit of background for people. And I think from what I've done a lot of your activations lately. It's so amazing. And one thing I kind of understood is you come a bit from that high achiever background, right? And I feel it's something very present in our society. I did a prestigious business school too, and we thought that success is a lot about hustling, and we listen to Gary Vee and to Grant Cardone and work hard, and that's how you achieve success. And that's not, that's also where you come from a little bit. And I feel a lot of people who will listen to that, they want to be successful kind of, but sometimes we are misguided through that. So can you share a bit your story about where you come from and how you came from that more hardworking, hustling, what I understood?
Totally. And it's funny, when you first asked the question, I was like, do you mean galactically as a soul, or do you mean like the country I was born in, or and now I know you're talking about my current lifetime. So for me personally, a bit of background about me. I was born in Poland in 1978, and at the time Poland was under communist rule, socialist rule. There was queues for food. There was so much, there wasn't enough. There was rations of, food. And my mum and dad, brave little souls that they are, in their early 20s, escaped the country with my brother and I. And we then found ourselves in a refugee camp in Italy. And we were waiting for asylum, for a country to offer us asylum. And Australia said yes. And so before we knew it, we were here. And it's interesting, yet for me personally, knowing what my parents went through to give me a better life, seeing them, in the refugee camp, withering away to skin and bone just to feed us, it ignited a passion, a fire inside my soul to do something great with the opportunity they gave me, to make it count. And so I was extremely driven to be the best version of me that I could be. And business was something that called me. And so I actually started my first business at the age of 8, I think it was, and off I went on this journey. It's somehow, in the journey, especially in my early 20s, I got wrapped up in some, of course, motivational content and motivational messaging that is a bit distorted. The work hard, hustle, win. And all of a sudden I found myself in this paradigm, in this reality where being number one was the most important thing, no matter what. And yes, I became number one in several industries, yet at what cost? You know, like I would sacrifice my my friendships, my relationships, my health, anything and everything, you know, to be this number one person. I still remember if, like, you know, I was sick, I would down all these cold and flu tablets with, like, you know, the buzz drug in them to, like, you know, have you feel good, and just down coffee. And I was a slave to my success. I was a slave to my number one status. You know, I wasn't fulfilled. You know, yes, you could look at me back then externally, and externally I would have looked successful, but wait, based on what measure, right? And I do believe we need to measure success internally and from our soul, not what society deems as successful. Because to me, true success is to be fulfilled, is to be happy, is to live in wonder, is to live in play, is to just be freaking enjoying our life, yeah? And if we're busy working, you know, for some gosh knows what, you know, and even like when we acquire all the wealth, we don't have time to enjoy it. We're too tired at the end of the day to enjoy it. That to me wasn't success. And so I still remember burning out physically, my adrenals completely depleted, and it caused me to shift onto a different path. And it caused me to shift onto a path of learning, you know, that everything I believed success was actually wasn't, not for me. You know, for me, my truth was to play. I'm an artist. I love, you know, creativity, personal development, evolution. I love, you know, nature and playing in the world. And I went on a journey to start to release what I now call slave codes, release the programs, the beliefs, the paradigms that I had, you know, uploaded into my field from being on this planet, and start to release, you know, all these pieces, and then realize that I could receive effortlessly, that it actually wasn't, you know, I'm going to do all this stuff so I can have all this stuff so I can be successful. I realized that I was doing it backwards, because the reality is that it is our frequency that shifts us into other realities. And it's not do, have, be, it's be, then take inspired action, do, and have the best version of your dreams. And the funny part is I still remember this moment, right? I'd taken one of like my second business at this point to a layer of freedom and a layer of financial, you know, abundance. And I still remember I was sitting there in my lounge room, and I had all this time and all this money coming in. And at first it was like, yeah, this is awesome. And then all of a sudden I'm sitting there and I'm like, why aren't I happy? You know, why do I feel kind of depressed? I shouldn't feel depressed. Like if I was to tell anybody that I'm feeling a bit flat, they would probably slap me because I've got no physical reason for it. They'd be like, what? You know, and what I realized was these addictions within my field to be number one, to achieve, to do, you know, were causing me to not be able to enjoy freedom. Because if I wasn't doing, then I wasn't getting a big dopamine rush in my body. I was addicted to the dopamine rush from achieving, the hormone that gets produced. And if it wasn't happening, I was feeling yuck, like I wasn't feeling happy, right? And so then I went on this big quest and shifted that addiction, you know, shifted the addiction and shifted from needing dopamine in my system, from achieving to have me feel good, to allowing myself to utilize oxytocin, which is a hormone. It's the love hormone. It's what we get when we give people cuddles, right? Like you give someone a cuddle and boom, you get all this oxy. Go.
I miss it a bit at the moment.
Oh, give yourself a cuddle. At least cuddle yourself. That's right. Anywho, and so for me personally, what I learned and discovered was that, you know, inspired action is so much more fun. And you really don't need to do that much. And that's the truth. I really don't do that much. I have so much time freedom. I use that time freedom in ways that make me happy, in evolving, in exploring, in sharing, in creating my art, which is activations, transformational content, you know, and the abundance comes, and it comes effortlessly because I shifted. you know, and I took that journey. And so everyone's obviously in their own place, and, you know, everyone's got their own journey. Yet that's my answer. Where I came from was this addiction to being number one, to, you know, to hustle, so to speak, to be a part of that 5 a.m. club. You know, there was a lot of significance, but to be honest, it did not lead me to success.
And what I find super interesting here and with you is, so not only you talk about what's a successful life, and it's also enjoying, it's not just, you know, having the money and the business that works really well, but I almost feel like for you in the end, being maybe doing less and working less hard also gets you more money, a more thriving business.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting for people is like a lot of people maybe would be like, I still want to be super successful. But then in that new paradigm,
it gives you more abundance. There's so much more abundance here. Yep, heaps more. So
it's
much
not
more.
that you enjoy your life better, but it's
Yeah.
almost your work, your business that you're striving so much to make it work, probably is going to work better when you have more fun.
100%. And it's also the reality, right? Like, because there's many different realities we get to live in based on our frequency. You know, if we're conditioned to look for the abundance, see the abundance, if our whole program's wired into freedom, and we've removed and we've dissolved all the programs that aren't in alignment with that, then what happens, right, is that when the abundance comes in, we see it more, we taste it more, we feel it more, we appreciate it more. It's more delicious. It's like in the abundance frequency of receiving and co-creating with our souls and taking inspired action, we actually amplify our senses to be able to really, really live the success. That to me is success, because you know, who cares if you've got a mansion and all this money in your bank account, if you're only looking at what's missing. You know, so many people in the old paradigm, high achievers, wired to look for the gap, meaning where I am now to where I want to be. And they're actually hardwired to focus on the gap. And that means that they're never really truly living in the presence or acknowledging the past gap that they've already filled in their full embodiment. And so therefore, you know, they'll achieve something. You know, back then I'd get my ideal car, my ideal house, my ideal clothes. And within weeks, they weren't making me happy, because then I wanted a bigger house, another, you know, like looking at the next thing, which means there is no nowness, right? And so, you know, there are people out there that, you know, I still remember this too, like, you know, in every area, it's like the body, there could be like this much fat on your hip, and you're not happy with your body because you're noticing this 100 grams of fat on your hip, and all you can focus on is this 100 grams of fat, and thereby you're not enjoying the body, right? You could have $1 million cash sitting in your bank account, and you're either worried it will go away, or it's not 3 million. And so the gap, you know, and this is the thing, it's like, it's our frequency dictates our experience, not the stuff, you know. And if our frequency is not a match for our greatest expression of freedom, abundance, impact, then when we even if, because we can hustle and create, we can, yet when we get there, the experience is different. It's a different timeline. It's a different reality. It doesn't feel as good, you know. And to me, I prefer both. You know, I prefer to be the frequency of my greatest desires in my highest timeline, manifesting into physical reality, all the cool stuff, and be able to be present with it. You know, see it, taste it, touch it, play with it, you know, like a kid on opening new presents kind of energy. Yeah.
I'll let that sink in for people. There's so much there. For me, it's true when I consciously do the shift to a mindset of abundance from scarcity, and we'll talk about the slave codes. I think two things that really helped me a lot is definitely gratitude, appreciating what I already have, because as you said, then you can be a billionaire and be miserable, right? And the other thing is allowing myself to receive. I think there is something where we in our education, maybe it comes from the original sin in Christianity, or I don't know, but like, you're not deserving. And I feel like those two things that I worked on, gratitude, I have a lot, so beautiful, and I also deserve it, not like I don't deserve it, I have it, were two big things. And that was a rewiring of the conditioning I've had, which I feel is a conditioning most people have. And that's why when you talked about the slave codes at Freedom Fest, and then in some of the activations you offer for free online, and I'll put the link in the website because I'm so grateful for that. Thank you so much. Yeah, those slave codes were speaking to me so well and so clearly. And it felt like something I kind of knew deep down, but didn't have that much clarity around. And when you talked about it so clearly, I was like, whoa, that's exactly what I needed. So do you want to talk a little bit about this? Obviously, we won't have time to dive into all of them, but maybe select a couple of them.
What specifically? Look, to be honest, the slave code topic's a big topic, and normally, like, I've got a full 1 year container where I transmute the slave codes in my clients, and we go deep, and like, it's a bit of a wormhole. So I'd much prefer it if you were to be more specific, because I was already sharing a couple, meaning needing to be number one is a slave code. We are all, well, first up, it's an illusion, because you can't really be number one when, one, everybody is actually connected and we are all one. So, and then on top of that, every single being is a unique fractal of source consciousness, which means you can't compete, which means that's like comparing an apple and a shoe. Like, the apple can't be number one to a shoe because it's not a shoe, and the shoe can't be that with an apple. And so when it comes to, I think what would serve potentially is this. The greatest shift for myself personally occurred when I began building a really strong relationship with my soul. When I realized that having a life where I co-create with my soul and I co-create with my non-physical soul family, and I'm honoring the fact that the intuition that we feel, the inner guidance that we feel, is so real, and I'm not alone, and it's not about me doing any of this. It's about me co-creating with my soul, my divine wisdom, channeling in and taking inspired action. That's when everything shifted for me. And in order for us to build this really strong relationship with our soul, our higher self, our soul family, we do require to raise our frequency, and we do require to let go of things that are denser frequency. One of the greatest slave codes to let go of is the code of judgment. It's the code of judging others and ourselves. This is really important, because if we're judging ourselves, comparing ourselves to others, if we're not giving ourselves divine, unconditional love, and if we're not giving that to others, our frequency is vibing at a lower density, which means that our connection to, divine channeling, to divine wisdom, is a little bit like staticky. And so I really do feel that this is one of the biggest ones. Everyone's on their own unique journey. And if we would only accept the fact that diversity is beautiful, that no, of course, not everyone's going to be agreeing with you. And especially for those, I do believe this group is for business owners. Is that correct? Or people looking to, beautiful, thank you. And especially in business, right? Yes, there'll be people that resonate with your product, your vision, your mission, your message, and that's great. Yet there'll be people that don't, and may have some not so nice things to say about you in your content. And who cares? Like, we're not here to, to have everyone agree with us. We're not here to be right. We're here to have an experience, and so is everybody else. And the greatest journey is to release that judgment, release that control, and just let people be. Let people be whatever. Look at humanity with curiosity and entertainment. Like, it's like, oh, look, like, no different to when you go to the zoo and you're observing animals, right? There's no judgment that a monkey, like, throws poo at the other monkey. We just laugh at it, right? It's true. Yet if we see humans doing things that we don't agree with, and I'm not, of course, if you see someone doing something really unjust and hurting someone, of course, step in. There's nothing, like, I'm not talking about, you know, watching people murder each other and not doing anything about it. I'm talking, you know, people will judge people on the silliest things, like what they're wearing, what they say, like, oh my goodness, like, you know, just the silliest things. And so I do encourage everyone to allow themselves to just let go of that, release that, you know, to see the world through the eyes of their soul, and more specifically on self. High achievers tend to be quite self-critical. They tend to judge themselves. They tend to look at themselves, and they're never really enough. And what's driving the high achiever program is the message of I'm not enough and I need to be more and more and more and more. Yeah. And that's where we've got to just take it easy, have a day off and not feel guilty that we're having a day off, right? Have you ever experienced this in your journey, Alex, that taking a day off and relaxing had you start going, oh man, I should be doing this or this or this? Have you ever had that come up?
Yes, 100%. I've done Vipassana, for example. I take 10 days and I just stay silent and meditate, and I come back from it. And it's like I got this full download and clarity. And again, when we go back to the work hard, or sometimes I'll go for a surf and I'll come back and I feel like I have that clarity. And in the end, for my business, it's way better that I had that surf or that I did that meditation.
Yeah, totally. And or just chilled out watching a Disney movie, right? Or making a sandcastle, or just hanging out with your friends, or doing nothing. Can I just say that that's important? So this is where, when we have judgment for ourselves, right, and we've got this frequency in our field, then if we do have an afternoon off and we're not achieving, we're not doing something in that time that's productive, then what can trigger is some self-judgment. Oh, I should be, you know, should be doing this, should be doing that. And unfortunately, here's the truth, that if that frequency is not evolved and doesn't transmute and shift, when the person shifts into that dream, that goal, that frequency goes with them. And so then, even if they've got the time to relax, they still have this weird kind of, I don't feel like I should be doing more. I should be doing more. Oh, and there's this unworthiness to relax, right? There's this unworthiness to receive the freedom, to receive the abundance. And this is where that's such a big piece, because the truth of the matter is, we're eternal beings. We can't F this life up even if we wanted to. And just grasp, right? Eternal. Like one life, 100 years in the scope of eternity, like it's like a blink, you know? And to me, this is how I sort of see it, and it makes me happy, that when I tune into anything that might trigger some judgment or significance, I just laugh, because in the grand scheme of things, 50,000 years from now, will I even remember this freaking moment? Or, you know, if I truly am eternal and this is one life, if I was to kind of go, how does that translate to my own experience on the planet right now? Well, if I'm one life in my soul's eternal journey, then half an hour a day, a week of my existence is honestly like a minute in my soul's, you know, ever expanding journey. And sometimes we get so wrapped up, you know, we get so like, I want it now. We get so friggin' like, yeah, like really significant about certain results. And it's about chilling. Receiving means we go, trust and surrender, it's all good. And we take aligned action while we're activating freedom and abundance in our current reality on each layer and each level. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and that's so good. And you've touched on so many things here. I really liked when I did one of your activations, which was around money. You personify money and you make them 5 children. And I really like that, because when you talked about the judgment of other people, there's an exercise I've been doing, is if someone gets angry, for example, I will reframe it and imagine they're a child. And if a child is
like
angry,
an angry little kid.
Yeah, we find, oh, it's fun. He's angry for this, and it changes. And you could treat adults like this, and sometimes looking at, because we all have that inner child. And for me, it helped a bit yeah, for letting go of judgment. I think it's a cool,
Yeah, it's
cool
beautiful.
exercise to
I
be.
love that.
It's tough. We're pretty tough with people, and of
Yeah.
course on ourselves. So you talked about judgment on ourselves. You talked about who we are speaking to here. We are live in that group called Quantum Evolution that has been created by people who do network marketing with this called Healy. And
Hey, Healy.
that's a frequency device, so it's pretty aligned. And what I really like with network marketing is, to me, it's a little bit like personal development, but in your life. And you have it with coaching. It's not just network marketing, but you know, people, they go to a seminar and they come back to real life. Then when you do that at your main activity, personal growth becomes your everyday life. And there are a few things that will show up. It showed up for me when I started only 10 months ago, but it's a lot of self-sabotage, a lot of those three things. One, you talked about it a lot, but it's letting go of the opinion of other people, because network marketing has bad reputation. And even when I was doing coaching, a lot of people, now you're a life coach and all this. And it can be a little bit tough if you don't let go of the opinion of other people. So this is very important. Another one is letting go of competition, because the compensation plans are made in a way that when I enroll someone, if they do better than me, it's going to be very good for me, and we all help each other out. But my monkey mind sometimes goes to someone in my team that does well, and I make money because doing nothing because they do well, and part of me feels lesser due to that. And obviously that's not the good mindset to have. And another one is receiving. A lot of people, they don't feel good enough and they self-sabotage for receiving. So I think a lot of those slave codes, for people who listen to it here, they will be super, super valuable.
Yeah.
And look, we could dive so much into receiving.
Talk for hours about this. Days.
Dive into money mindset, but we won't now, because we've already been close to 30 minutes in the interview. There's just one thing I would like to talk about before we start the Galactic activation.
Galactivation?
As you like to say. It is, can you share a little bit about your perspective on how let's say consciousness works? And to me, it reminds me a lot of Joe Dispenza, when you have this photo saying there's not one Earth, there's an infinity of different Earths, and we can shift from one timeline, which is one reality. How I do with Joe Dispenza, I guess it's pretty similar, is you go back to pure consciousness, which is a better space to create. And the image is you come back in a different reality where your challenges are solved, and so in a reality that serves you better. And that's a lot what I find. So what is your perception of how reality is, and of those different universes that exist?
Filling into what would be in the highest good, because the topic's actually a big topic, and I don't want to say anything that's going to just confuse people more. I'm not actually familiar with Dispenza's work. I haven't done any of it, so I don't know how he teaches this yet. A few years ago, I started to receive dreams, and in those dreams, I was being shown that there's like multiple different Earths, multiple different realities, that there isn't one Earth. And the greatest illusion in our 3D, our physical existence, is that we believe there is one reality, one Earth. And so over the last few years, I've also downloaded and received so much more around this. And I consciously play within the fourth dimensional bridge, which in the fourth dimension, think of the fourth dimension like a beautiful, bridge into other realities, other dimensions, other timelines. And so what I mean by this is our frequency will determine where we shift to. And in the quantum, in reality, we're actually shifting in through other realities, other Earths, other timelines, and we're shifting through billions every minute. It's how motion is experienced. So I can do this, right? And I feel like I'm in this timeline where this is me moving, yet that was actually billions of still shots and me shifting through billions of still shot realities, sort of like a film strip, you know, where you've got like the individual shots, but when you play it together, you see a motion picture. So if you look at it from that perspective, we are already doing this. This is why you'll notice, right, that if your frequency is really beautiful and aligned, if you're in the zone, you can't say anything wrong. You're extra funny, extra delightful, you know, you attract, like, your friends are better to you, you attract sales so much easier, there's more customers somehow, and everyone's saying yes. And then if we're not in the zone, which by the way is soul alignment and co-creation with the soul, if we're in a lower frequency, all of a sudden, especially scarcity, we're shifting into other worlds, other realities where, guess what? There's no customers in those worlds. There's literally no customers in that friggin' earth. And the people in that earth are not as nice as they were yesterday. Haven't you noticed that sometimes the people in your life, you know, you can like go in and out of rapport with them, that you could be having the most awesome experience with a friend or a partner and just so in love, and then in another point you're fighting and you're even like, but this happened, and they're like, no, that didn't happen, this happened, and you're like, yes it did, and you're kind of confused because they remember reality different to you. It's because you're now playing with a different version of them. And I know that's pretty quantum, and I get that's a bit like, and I could talk more about it, yet the greatest message with this is it means that we've got choice. It means that when we raise our frequency, when we align with our soul, when we stay within our own column of ascension, talking with our soul, heart cracked open in the zone or flow state, we then shift into higher frequency realities, higher frequency timelines, and experience heaven on earth and experience so much wonderful things. Does that answer your question?
It does. It does. It's so good. And I've been listening to that with my cup of cacao, of sacred cacao, that I'll now put on the side. And I'll start, we can start the activation. Of course, yes, for people who want to go dive deeper, I think you have like 6 or 7 amazing webinars where there are like 2 or 3 hours of pure awesomeness.
So please know, and I think Alex said he's going to drop in a link. It's a link to my website where there's a free resources link, and their activations I've been guided to share with the world for free. And there's many around building a multi-dimensional impact business and around evolution and abundance activations. So you're welcome to go play there. What I've been guided to share with you today is to, you know, really like center you into your own column of ascension, activate deeper connection to your flow state, to your zone state, to your soul, to have you aligning in your highest frequency, which then allows you to navigate the quantum and navigate different realities and shift into higher frequency realities. Cool. So here, right?
Yeah. And
Now,
people can get ready. I recommend for the people who have a Healy, I've been running the being frequency. It's a frequency, it's a few frequencies, and when I use them, I feel almost like I've microdosed on psychedelic. It's like things are, or like I've had a very deep meditation or breath work. Things are like, so it's a perfect state for it.
Really nice quantum frequency. I like it.
I want to play 10 seconds of that handpan that I started to play on last week. And I'll give it to you. I like to lie down for your activations.
Yeah, and I recommend you guys do too. It's really nice to simply lie down and receive.
And,
beautiful. So heads up, before I start this process, if you're new to my work, I will be making certain sounds. They are frequency sounds, light language. It's the language of my soul, and it's coded language medicine. And so what that means, if I start making sounds that do not sound like English and you have no freaking idea what I'm doing, please trust that it's frequency sound. So like Healy is, you know, injecting frequency and activating frequency inside of your being, so are these sound waves. And these particular ones are coding your field with like awakening the codes of abundance in your field, awakening the codes of soul alignment, of higher frequency evolution, of shifting to higher frequency realities. So if I may have your permission for the funny sounds I make, I will also be saying things that may make no sense to you at all. And it's not about that. So I'm going to guide you through, and there'll be like certain things I'm telling you to see. Some of you are going to see a lot because your third eye vision is quite active. Some of you may not see anything. Please know that what we're doing right now is beyond the mind. It's beyond the consciousness, because we are working within your quantum blueprint, your light bodies. So these are upgrades, yeah? Yay. So if, one more thing, please know that my activations are, you know, an upgrade to your system. And so it's really important for you to drink lots of water after this, to rest after this, to allow it to integrate and settle in your field as well. So, yay, let's get started. Beautiful. So first up, my beautiful friends, laying down, sitting down, being beautifully comfortable. This process, you know, will take maybe somewhere between 15 to 25 minutes. It is channeled, so I can't give you an exact time. And what I'd love you to do is to place your right hand over your heart space and your left hand over your right hand, and simply breathe in through your nose, closing your eyes. Breathe in through your nose into your heart space, feeling your heart space with breath. And breathe out. Breathing in again and out. And in and out. And now breathing into your mind, just channeling your breath, the intention for it to fill your mind with breath. Taking 2 more breaths into your mind. And another. And now breathing into your mind and your heart at the same time, breathing into both and out, allowing them to sync, to co-create, for the mind to receive from the heart. Asking your mind now to come with you on a journey to expand, to release, to play. Shoo, 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 shoo. And simply relaxing your hands and receiving, calling in my 12D soul family to come flow through me and support these beautiful beings live on the recording to serve them at the highest. Calling in the Actuarian Council of Light from the 7th dimension to support this heart activation. Calling in these beautiful beings, soul families and guides to come in and to receive these codes and to beautifully code their beings with them, to allow them to activate their own unique signature soul blueprint puzzle, for them to be able to call back more of their soul memory, more of their soul coding right now. Thank you, welcome, I love you. Calling in the Divine Abundance Key Code, the 12D Divine Abundance Key Code. Welcome, my friend. Calling in the Divine Certainty Key Code. Welcome. Calling in the 4D Time Key Code. Welcome. Calling in the Divine Service Key Code. Welcome. And now, allowing yourself to, in your third eye vision, float up above your body, up into your quantum universe, further still and further still, traveling past Earth, traveling into your quantum universe, flying further and further and further, coming home to your soul frequency more and more, traveling further and further and further into the universe, into your quantum universe. Keep going, keep going, keep going until you connect with the frequency of divine love, with the frequency of your soul, with the frequency of your soul family. Beautiful. And now, seeing a door appear in front of you, feeling a door appear in front of you. This door opens up into a quantum upgrade and healing chamber. It's your soul's healing chamber. It's your personal chamber where you get upgrades, where you get healings. On the count of 3, opening this door, entering a room. 1, 2, 3, enter, where you'll see a beautiful chamber with a bed. This bed has a crystal bedding. This bed is on a crystal slab. Notice, feel into the vibrational frequency of this chamber. This chamber is a light chamber, allowing yourself to now lay down on the crystal bed to receive from your soul family, to receive from my soul family, and the light beings and technologies and key codes here. And as you lay on this chamber, firstly, your soul family are now coming around you. They're placing their hand on your heart. There's many of them all around you with their hand on your heart. They're sending frequencies of divine love into your heart space, unlocking your heart codes. Receive this beautiful gift. Calling back your soul memory, activating your heart deeper. And now a diamond-like shape is floating into your heart field, a beautiful white diamond-like shape from the 12th dimension, holding divine abundance frequency within it, entering your heart field. And as it enters, it beautifully unlocks and transforms the frequencies within your heart, unlocking more and more and more heart coding and chambers, feeling your heart field expand, allowing yourself to sense, to feel, to see your heart field expanding right now, shifting, unlocking even more. That's right. And now your soul family moves further away, and this beautiful, gorgeous diamond crystal, white crystal, 12D abundance key code is working within your beautiful heart field, activating, healing, transmuting, entering into the different chambers of your heart field, and with its frequency mixing with your frequency and creating the next version of your heart, the next version of your love, your heart frequency, your connection to your soul, to your divine, gorgeous, beautiful soul family, to source energy. And now another beautiful diamond 12D abundance key code technology frequency that glows like a white diamond enters your third eye, sort of in the middle of your forehead. And as it enters into your third eye, it unlocks more of your third eye vision, enabling you to experience and see your soul and soul family more. And as it's unlocking more and more of your third eye vision, cleaning, restoring, upgrading, you're able to see it even clearer now. This beautiful diamond technology within your field. And now you receive coding from beings of light in the universe, receiving a full heart activation, transmuting any pains, worries, hurts out of your heart, enabling your heart to open more, to receive guidance, to love others, to love you. Feeling the love that your soul has for you, tuning now into your soul that lives in your heart field, feeling your soul's love, feeling how much your soul and your soul family love and support you unconditionally, how they're so proud of you for taking physical form and going on this adventure, how everything you do and be makes them smile, how they're always here for you. And as you lie in this beautiful upgrade chamber, I now invoke the frequency of divine violet light to flood the chamber, healing, transmuting, shifting in your field any hertz, denser frequencies that are ready to leave and shift and transmute, and spreading that out to every timeline, every parallel reality you're connected to, taking your whole collective with you. Asking that now the light bodies be activated, allowing your light body, your energetic light bodies to now expand, to be activated to their next frequencies, their next layers, so you can hold higher frequencies in your field. Having every cell in your physical body template, in the energetic blueprint of your physical body template, now be able to hold more light quota, more light frequency, enabling you to maintain your higher self connection. And as you lie there connecting to your soul family within your heart, all around you, your soul has a beautiful message, a gift for you right now. Please go ahead and receive this either through a direct language message or through frequency wave frequency. Beautiful. Taking a deep breath into your heart while you're in the upgrade chamber. And breathe out. Taking another deep breath into your heart, noticing how much more expanded it is. And breathe out. And now a diamond, bright white diamond, 12D abundance key code enters into your throat, upgrading and working in your expression, in your voice, upgrading your message, your capacity to be authentically you, to honor your uniqueness, to honor your truth, to honor you, to speak the message that your soul is here to speak, to share the message that your business has been created for, unlocking the next layers of your expression through your business. I now ask the Divine Service Key Code to activate this being into their next layer of divine soul destiny expression, supporting these beautiful beings of light to go out and share their messages with the world, to make the difference their souls came here to make, to create the impact, to create the shift, to be a part of the evolution happening on this planet, to call in the higher frequency realms and realities for all, to call in the 5D earth. Calling in some divine muses to enter the chamber and to code these beautiful beings with divine inspiration, with divine energy and inspiration to take aligned action that feels like play and feels like fun and feels like joy. Welcome, my divine friends. Allowing these beings to call back even more of their creativity, creator coding, their God and Goddess coding. Taking another deep breath into your heart field and breathe out. Lying there on the crystal bed in your upgrade healing chamber, allowing yourself to receive such divine love, support, healing, and upgrades from your soul family and the most divine light beings aligned with the divine plan. We thank you. As you lie in your chamber, say thank you to your soul family. Say thank you to your soul. Say thank you to all the beings of light that have come to support you today. And say thank you to yourself for trusting your higher self impulse and being here with us today, for allowing yourself to be guided by your soul into this very moment in your experience, in your evolution, in your beautiful consciousness play. And now gently sinking through the crystal bed into a different plane of existence, onto a beautiful sandy beach, lying now on a sandy beach where the sand is so soft, feeling the gentle breeze of the beautiful bay, the ocean, the water, connecting to planet Earth. And as you lay here on this beach, Tune into the beautiful crystal in your heart, the diamond-like crystal in your heart. Breathe into this diamond crystal. And now send a copy of this diamond crystal into the core of planet Earth, into the heart of planet Earth, sharing this quantum gift. Sending a beautiful diamond 12D abundance crystal into the core of Earth, anchoring into Earth. And now breathe into the core of Earth. Trust that your soul knows how to do this. Take a breath in and set your intention that the breath goes to the core of Earth. Sharing life and breath with the core of Earth, activating this beautiful divine abundance code within your Earth, your realities, your timelines. And now envisioning a beautiful golden thread going from your heart all the way into planet Earth, into the core of Earth, wrapping around this diamond crystal, connecting you to Earth, grounding you, allowing you to ground your highest abundance into the physical realms for you to manifest and experience them in physicality. And now, breathing into your heart and planet Earth core at the same time, aligning yourself with beautiful Earth, aligning yourself to co-create with Earth and the physical realms to be able to experience the physical realms that you desire to experience next. Tuning in and breathing into your heart and Earth, feeling in to Earth and how abundant it is to be alive on her, to have this sentient being welcome you and have you live on her, how abundant life is. And now, as you lay there on the beach, tuning in and knowing and remembering that you have a soul star. There is a star out in the universe that is linked to you. It's where your soul vibes at. And now just trusting your inner guidance and tuning into your soul star and sending this beautiful diamond 12D abundance, gorgeous crystal into, white pure crystal into the center of your soul star. Breathing into the center of your soul star, sending it love, sending a beautiful golden thread from your heart all the way out to your soul star, connecting these beautiful diamonds together. Your soul star diamond, your heart diamond, the center of earth diamond, beautifully connected by this golden thread. And now breathe into all three diamonds, activating your own column of soul blueprint frequency essence ascension, allowing yourself to beautifully beat at the same heartbeat as your soul, as the earth, as you, breathing into all three diamonds and out and in and out. Keep breathing into all three at the same time, allowing them to fully align and anchor. And so it is. And now as you lay here on the beach, connected to the earth, connected to your soul star, with your heart active even more, take a breath, enjoy this moment. This is your life. Look around you. Be present to what it means to be alive and conscious, the gift of life. Beautiful. And now, allowing yourself to transition from this beach space, floating back into your quantum and finding your way back to your physical body, coming back into your body now, taking all of this with you and allowing it to now sink into your physical body template, twiggling your fingers and your toes. Simply lay there for a moment, still, allowing all these frequencies to gently, beautifully activate each cell, each atom. Choo da 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 da. Choo 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 choo. Taking a deep breath into your heart, your physical heart. Notice how much more space there is. Another deep breath. And one more. And now, my beautiful friends, as you lie there in your physical body, before you open your eyes, connect once again to the diamond in your heart, the diamond in the earth, the diamond in the soul, the heart of your soul star, in the heart of the galaxy, connecting to your soul star diamond, your heart diamond, your earth diamond. They're all there with you. And any time throughout the day, you can simply connect to them in your third eye vision, breathe into them and align even more. Beautiful. And now, when you're ready, gently open your eyes and look around your new world. Please make sure you drink lots of water, coconut water after this. Upgrades can dehydrate you. And enjoy the beautiful, gorgeous upgrades.
Ooh. Wow.
How are you feeling, Alex?
I'm buzzing. I can feel all the vibrations in my body. It's wow.
And so also just quickly, please all, when we finish talking, go outside and bare feet on ground and earth and ground and just connect again to that beautiful crystal in the core of earth and allow yourself to really ground and anchor this energy. Go for a little barefoot walk or hug a tree, you know, something to connect you to planet earth. Thank you. Buzzing, my friend?
Yeah, wow. Thank you so much. And yeah, as mentioned, I feel trippy right now.
I love it. You need to go ground. And also, like, guys, when you're grounding, just shake your body out a little bit, let the frequencies enter all, like, kind of like dance like no one's watching later on today, to let all the frequencies enter your physical template and code your physical body.
Yeah, and so, well, again, thank you so much. And I want to share with people, as I mentioned, I've done a lot of so we've just experienced an activation that you gifted to us, and you do that a lot on your website. I actually think the activation and even the content you put for free on your website is, I've done paid programs that don't, that isn't near 10% as good as what you put for free on your website. So absolutely, absolutely, thank you for that, and encourage everyone to check this out. When I look at how amazing what you gift is, I will also explore a bit more in depth. I think you have a mastermind and other programs to dig.
If you like this, imagine what my programs are like. Just thinking, so fun. So fun.
I think it's a really good match for people in this community, because you put it beautifully in that activation with the crystal. One was, so it's us in the earth, one is the star. And to me, what you incarnate is really that, you know, that cliche thing, we're a spiritual being in a physical world or body. And, but, so you have that very spiritual ground, but you're also very grounded. And a lot of people in spiritual communities, they forget a bit how sacred the physical world and life is. And that was a beautiful metaphor through the crystal of what I feel is the vibe of this community, quantum evolution, healing. She's attracting people who are spiritual, but also love to play in this physical.
Yeah. And look, to me, it's that, like when I, like for, you know, when I look around the different realities, there are people that are very spiritual, but they kind of make physical world wrong or bad, or some kind of hell on earth, or some kind of school, or some kind of rite of passage, and they kind of just want to leave the, and then there's those on the other side of the spectrum that are all physical world, void of any soul connection, void of, you know, like, it's all about the physical, it's all about the status, it's all about how much, you know, you have in the physical world. And like, the reality is that we have all dimensions available to us. We've got the physical dimensions and the energetic dimensions available to us. And I, like, to me, it's, why wouldn't we play with all of them, you know? Like, that's like, you can either just draw with black or white, or you can have all the colors, you know, all the colors to draw with. Why would you? Of course you're going to draw with all the colors. And I love that you, like, you know, you say that, and I love that you also, you know, realize that, because it's like anything, you know, like more choice, more to play with, just expands our experience, expands our life. It's been a pleasure and an honor serving your gorgeous community and playing with you. Pleasure and an honor. Thank you for being open to receive. And it's been wonderful co-creating with you, Alex, and all of the beautiful beings that are receiving this. Please also know that this is time key coded. And what that means is that when you listen to it again, you'll actually be teleported energetically back to this moment in time. So you're receiving from the live container where all the light beings are there again. So yeah, feel free to use this activation to continue connecting and to continue activating more and more flow state, zone state, and your own, you know, abundance alignment.
Thank you.
Welcome.
I'll go ground for a bit, because that was like,
yeah, definitely ground, people. That was really, and there's still work happening in your field. You're currently being worked on and upgraded. So please know, just because you can't see it and you're up and about doesn't mean that there isn't things shifting and in flux. You're going to be fine. Just drink some water, go ground, and love you all. And thank you again for having me. Mwah. Ciao, ciao.